Hi guys, another plant vlog, and this is for my Ficus Elastica Belize. A little backstory. This was actually, I guess, thought of as a ruby pink, but she looks like a Belize to me, and as you can see, the color is just incredibly striking. From my personal, very short experience, because I do have a ruby pink, it's not really as pronounced, but from my research as well, the variegation is also not uniformed. So if I'm wrong and it's not a Belize, let me know down below, but it just looks like a Belize to me from everywhere that I've seen. Um, I will show you my ruby real quick. So this is my ruby, and as you can see, when you put them side by side, it's not as variegated, but I've noticed that a ruby can also look like a Belize a little bit. It's just my ruby is not. And so that's why I think it's a Belize. And then I've also kind of compared some pictures. Um, she does just look like a Belize. It's just, I think the color a little bit. I don't know. If I'm wrong, but just let me know down below if I am wrong. Um, but for now, I'm calling her a Belize. So anyway, right here, you can see she has more of a peachy, kind of cream peachy here. And here, because it's really bright right now, here it's a little bit pinkier than here. This one is definitely more of a peach, more peachy tone than this one. And this one is a deeper peach. And this one is definitely more of a pink color. So that's why I think it's a Belize versus a ruby pink. However, I have also kind of just looked, and it seems like the Belize, the ruby pink, and even the strawberries and cream kind of have like a very similar kind of color to them. And the reason that I believe this is the Belize is just it's more of a peachy pink than a like kind of like a medium pink, which is what a ruby pink is, what I've seen or what I've noticed. But again, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But for now, I'm sticking to the Belize. So anyway, I just wanted to document this because I just, for my record and anybody else who's interested in the growth of this particular plant. So when I got her, this was more closed, and as you can see, there's still a sheath on here. There was still a sheath on her, and it's slowly falling down. A sheath is this. This is the sheath. This is the sheath, and what's inside here is a baby leaf. A sheath covers to protect the baby leaf to grow. I have noticed if the sheath does fall off, not from a rubber tree, rubber plant, or a Ficus elastica, but from my Ficus lyrata or a fiddle leaf fig, what happened with that one is it stopped the growth for whatever reason. Mine fell accidentally, and the baby leaf that was growing there never really grew out. And after like a month to 2 months, I just snipped it off. And it took a few more months after before it started to grow again. So as much as possible, just leave it, as much as, I mean, mine was very accidental. I forgot what it was, but it wasn't like I touched it or bumped it or anything. It was even like different than that. And some of those things kind of happen from time to time. I would just suggest to just leave it. And if it doesn't grow and you feel uncomfortable, you want to promote growth, what I did was I cut it a little bit under the node, and that's why I promoted new growth. But that was for my Ficus lyrata or fiddle leaf fig, but they are kind of like in the same family. They're Ficus. So, and they have the same kind of sheath and the same kind of growth situation. So they could be similar in that sense, but I've never really done that for this plant or a Ficus elastica. So I cannot encourage or give a lot of advice in that for now. So I will just turn her so you can see. She doesn't stay in this spot. It's just because I'm vlogging. And this is another baby leaf. So she came with 2 baby leaves, and there's another growth right there. She came with 2 branches. The right one is definitely a little bit thicker than the left one, but there's already bark, so that's a good sign. When you see brown or bark on your branches, that's a good thing. That means that they're aging well. And it just means that they're getting stronger. So that's a good thing. A lot of people actually get scared of that. A lot of people just don't know. I didn't know before, and it was my husband that explained it to me. And it was from my Thanksgiving cactus. That one took a while to bark, but that's just how plants are. Sometimes it takes a while to bark, and that's why when they start to bark, it's an exciting time. It's not a scary time. It's an exciting time. It's a good thing. This is such a beautiful leaf. Look at that. Look at that. It's almost like half of it is variegated. I love it. So far right now, I only have variegated rubber trees or rubber plants or Ficus Elasticas. I've never been very drawn to the burgundy or the dark burgundy color. I do love the all green though. However, I never got to see that in person, so I'm still in the hunt for that. I'm hoping I can find it in some local places, but if not, then I really, just gotta hunt it online, unfortunately. I'm like communicating with managers in like Home Depot. I spoke with the gardening manager in Lowe's. I've submitted, information to corporate, and Lowe's is really like not very responsive, but Home Depot was, and then he stopped doing it. I haven't heard from him in a few weeks now. So I don't know what's going on, but the last time though, he did email me when he did have news. So I don't think he has news yet. And he only had news of like, on my list, I had like a lot of different plants, and he couldn't guarantee the variegated ones. He could only guarantee the non-variegated. So there were only a few of those, and he said to expect them like in spring. So I don't know yet. I haven't even visited the store, So I'm actually thinking of going to a local nursery today, if not tomorrow. So I just wanted to do that. And this is the sheath. Oh, it's still kind of somewhat attached, so you guys can see it if you're curious. So this leaf was living inside here, and let's just take a look. And when she's ready to pop out, grow, and uncurl, they slip out, and then they start to grow a little taller, obviously, as you can see right there, a little taller, and uncurl, and she's just gonna keep growing. So when I got this, I transplanted it, which you guys probably would have seen my unboxing and transplanting video. All the info that I put in there is in there, and what I'm using, what I used, and what I used to water. I will do that too with this one to show you guys what I used to water her. I think it really kind of boosts the uncurling and kind of growth. So I really, really love it on what I used. And I've only used one kind of combination to water her. I use a fertilizer and supplements. She sits in a east facing window, and so she gets morning light. She sits right next to it. And that's it. I remember looking around. I think if you have more of a north or south facing window, it needs to be away from the window. It needs to be more of an indirect, just because those are harsher light. For a west and an east window, because you're not getting, I guess, as much intensity of light is what I understand. That's why she can be right next to a window. So that's why she's right next to a window. And supposedly the more light the variegated plants do get, not just a Ficus Elastica, the more the variegation does pop up. So I'm kind of hoping that that's true. It is true with my gold capella or a variegated Schefflera, the yellow variegated Schefflera. I put it right next to a window too, and she is just very colorful. So I'm really happy with that. So I'm kind of glad to do that too. With this one, I don't really know. So I'm going to update this plant as often as I can when I see like a difference to it. But for right now, this came with this. There are no changes except for like this thing and the new babies and the separation from the sheath. And this one too, it was still attached more to the sheath. I really don't remember if it was smaller, but the sheath is still there. So it wasn't really that much of a difference yet. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, comments, suggestions, advice, you want to talk about this plant, you want to talk about gardening, let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys all the time. I can talk about gardening and plants all day. I just love that. So do that down below, and or you could do that down below. And if you want to connect through social media, I have Instagram, Facebook, and of course here and Twitter too. So check that out. I'm I guess the most I use is Facebook and Instagram. Facebook because I interact with so many, especially with like gardening groups and plant groups. I love Instagram too, obviously, for like posting pictures and just I love going through my past posts, just looking at my pictures and things like that. So do check those out. Anything else, what I use with this plant, it's going to be in the description section as always. And if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're notified every single time I do upload a new video. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.